Alright, response video to Fred. I think I'll post it from this channel because this is probably the closest to my old channel in terms of the end anyway. Ultimately it is all doom and gloom when you look at the truth, really. But anyway, so Conference Report guy made a video about the fact that, it's just kind of ludicrous to say, there's only 12 good books in the world. I don't know if exactly I said that, but maybe I did. But anyway, yeah, it's a tiny percentage of all human writing and contemplation that really has relevance, especially as you move into the future, because all the archaic stuff gets wiped out. We discover a truth about lightning and the stars or the galaxy, and so then a lot of old writing speculation becomes kind of irrelevant and silly and really quite useless to waste neurons on. So yeah, but I would basically argue that the theme underlying the whole life thing is pretty simple. I mean, once you explain the physics and the chemistry and the biology, and then just hit the psychology, that's the only other game left. The rest of it's just a few entertaining stories. I mean, basically all literature is sort of formula. I mean, the formula is usually good, evil, struggle, and good either gets killed or good wins. I mean, mostly, it's happily ever after, because that makes makes people feel a little better if they get a story that kind of gives them encouragement, lets them know that you can win. I might argue that Dickens, all you need is Dickens. So, do the science books and Dickens, and you're done. Maybe even just Christmas Carol and Tale of Two Cities might be enough to finish, for me. I'm going to throw in Moby Dick just for fun. I don't know. But, yeah, the rest of all the stories are just little indulgences. They're entertainment. It's not, most of the great literature is, in a way, entertainment. It's stories intended to provoke emotions about characters and circumstances, and it's psychology. So, I mean, even a psychology book could cover so much of that and just point out. I mean, the other day you were wearing like a Yankees baseball cap, and just point out, just point out the ludicrous nature of the human animal. How we root for these silly things, and it's just completely circumstantial, erroneous to any kind of merit. We get all emotional. How we define the underdog is I guess, the key thing. What we define as the thing where the little precious thing that's fighting against the horrible thing. So maybe that's the only thing that changes, is we have a different definition of the good and the bad, but the rest of it's just watching the struggle and feeding off of it vicariously when it's an interesting story, intriguing. I did sort of notice too, the other day there was, one of those stupid little trailers for a movie, and they have all these great effects now, where you really get the 3D kind of feel of something coming at you and that kind of thing, and it just kind of provoked a thought in my head, just to how this really are we getting to a point where we can create these fantasies, these movies, these entertainments that are really getting to have a real feel to them. They really are. Just the story in the old days used to, you used to have to be pulled in by a great story and great writing or great acting, because it was this horrible, grainy, black and white thing, and if you didn't, if it wasn't really good, you weren't going to get lost in it. But this new stuff is so easy to get lost in because the textures are so natural. It feels so comfortable to our senses. The environments are so they fool the senses so well. But anyway, that's, I guess, is sort of a different subject. But anyway, I have made videos in the past. Sometimes part of me almost says I should only make one kind of video. I should just keep saying it over and over again. Do the 10-minute concise definition of what life on Earth is and what it is to be a human being. Because it can be summarized, I think, quite simply. It's not that complicated anymore now that we have all these facts, now that we know where we came from, the story. Yeah, it's just not that complicated. Our psychology is just so transparent and obvious, and we can see it so easily if we choose to. How much we're so full of shit. In terms of what we have a passion for. So I mean, it just, to me, it's the game over. I mean, this is not a complex story anymore. You don't need to read volumes and volumes of literature to catch on to what the game is, and 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 if you and all you're searching for, really, all people are doing is they're saying, I just want to keep wallowing in some sort of psychological entertainment, but you're not going to learn anything from all this poetry and all this other crap. I mean, it really is just that crap. I mean, it's just a long way of saying something and try to put some flowers on it, make a little garden walk out of it. But you can do it harsh and direct and straight up if that's what you want. If you want to know the truth, it's right there to grab. It's not going to elude you, and you know, you're not going to have to do a lot of work. So that's still my argument, is that the substance of what has value does change over time, because all the bullshit can be revealed for what it is, just bullshit. It's just whatever tacky word you want to use for it, just being a self-indulgence and just being itching a scratch kind of crap. It doesn't have any real substance, and the real substance is going to be when somebody, you know, writes the perfect little concise story that just puts it right out there, just in black and white, and you know, a few dozen thousand words, and just diagrams exactly what the fuck we are and what we're doing here, and how fucking silly it is, and how it's all going to be nothing eventually anyway. I mean, there's nothing to do here. There's just different and more eccentric and bizarre ways to scratch itches. That's all. We're just sneezing and scratching, and it's just bullshit. And to call it anything else but bullshit is bullshit. Yeah, that's a good way to end. Yeah. So anyway, so videos from here, I guess, until the Do Not God channel is back from recovering from its illness. It's got a suspension problem. Anyway, they don't have a pill for that. I'm feeling bad. I had a terrible cold. I guess it was flu, whatever it was. It was not, it's not good, but I'm getting better. So anyway, until next time. Thank you very much. You too.